Hey folks, Tim Newman with Lite Studios bringing another daily assignment your way. Today's assignment for September 12th, 2019. Our assignment today is titled Rope. You know, this is one of these assignments that can really tie you up. Rope is used for construction, security, fun, and recreation. I'll leave that one to your imagination. Whatever you see rope used for, try to grab some compelling pictures of this line-yielding subject today. Let's take a look at some sample images. Now, here's a coil of marine rope on a dock, and this speaks to me about lines, patterns, symmetry, the diagonal, the intersections, and the color set. I think this shot, in all its simplicity, has it all. This is a great find, and I encourage you to go out and look for images that convey this sense of structure to them. In our second sample image, we're at a kid's playground and they got a rope bridge there, and I just think that this makes for a really great shot. It's super colorful, it's got all the primary colors, it's got leading lines, it takes you into the center, there's a path for you to follow, and that minimal depth of field really manages the scene in a very nice way. Love this shot. Let's take a look at some of the elements of design that we're concerned with here. Obviously, ropes are all about lines, and when you have a bunch of lines coming together, you inevitably get shapes, and so you ought to be able to find both of these in these pictures. And of course, in order to capture these lines, in order to capture these shapes in this kind of two-dimensional perspective that you're going to be thinking in terms of, point of view is going to be really important. Let's take a look at some more sample images. Okay, this is not your traditional rope. This is leather rope that's used in leathercraft and stitching. But I really love this picture. I love the color set in the picture. I like the neon colors, how bright and vibrant it is. I love the really flat field of focus that we have here. And whether you realize it or not, if we're thinking about those color sets, there's some complementaries in there. And really, there's really nice symmetrical balance happening in this shot here. In our next image, okay. It's steel ropes, but this kid doesn't seem to be discerning between metal and fiber. He's pretty happy no matter what's going on there. I like the middle field focus here. I like the division of thirds, the minimal depth of field, that background bouquet that we're getting in the specular highlights in the trees. And how can we ignore the happiness on this little youngster's face? This just makes for a great shot. One last picture here for you. If you're into boating at all, at least traditional boating and sailing, you're into ropes, and rope craft and the rigging in the ship mean everything. And that can be a confusing, chaotic scene, but if you work it the right way, you kind of take a look at the angle of this shot here and how it was put together, you can see that it makes a really compelling image that guides the viewer diagonally across the frame and gives them something that's really engaging and keeps them focused on that picture, which is exactly what you want. Let's take a look at some of our rules of composition here. Now, I think balance is important here. We got to have subject balance, we got to have tonal balance, and we probably should have color balance in there as well. Rule of thirds, where you can work it in, certainly makes a definite difference here. And your point of view will really matter in terms of how this shot is viewed by the viewer. Think back to the very first sample image with that coil across the decking versus the very last image we saw where we're working that angle through the scene. Point of view is critical in all of those. All right, let's take a look at our format specifications. If you're going to submit this image for the semi-monthly image critique, please output your image as you see shown here. Also at the bottom, you will see a naming example for a file for today's date and our naming standard. Now, if none of this makes any sense to you, please take a look at the Update 01 video, for which there is a link below in the description. Also, next to that link, you'll find the upload link for this assignment if you would like to submit one for critique consideration. And last but not least, there is that subscribe button. Pretty great link, if I may say so myself. All right, that's it, folks. Go out and find some rope coiled up, see what I did there, near you today. And remember, while you're out there shooting that rope, learning equals skills, practice equals mastery. We'll see you out there.